Mm. Oh, so take a breath and just settle your body right here in this circle from whatever home and place in your home that you are. And we gather in the sacred ground of sovereignty, a environment, a culture that has been created and energized over many years. We ask that the protocols, the teams, the activities of the Guardian Circle surround us, each of us individually, as we gather our circle and all those who are connected to our circle, that Guardian Circle space surround all of us, not just during the time of the circle, but as we go out and build our world, our lives each day. We know we don't walk alone on this planet, that we don't even hold all of the information we need to do what we're called to do, but that we have unlimited teams directly working with us, and we ask them to be here also in that same level of integrity to sacred ground of sovereignty, alignment to the circle of guardianship. We ask that our minds be open, be curious, that those things that are going to benefit us most directly emerge. We are grateful for the opportunities that we each have, for that which has been brought to us through our lives to get us to this point. The circle is set for our exploration, for our safety, for our expansion, held within the gentle guidance of those beyond our planet. And so it is. Okay, so let's take the time to each place ourselves into the circle just with your where you are, who you are, name, and a quality you want to add, something you might want to add to the sacred space. And then we'll go around a second time with the opportunity to say a little bit more about where you are today and what is up for you today. So first of all, just placing ourselves from our mundane, everyday world, life, mind into this circle, and we'll do that going around, each tagging the next person after them, so it'll run real smoothly. So Angelique, would you start, please? Of course, you'll have to unmute.
Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to see you all from overseas. And I'm in the Netherlands, and it's a rainy, cloudy day today, very gray. And yeah, that's what I am. And my word is light. I bring light into the circle. And I go to, oh my, wait a minute. Maoli.
Thank you, Angelique. That was beautiful. I could listen to you say my name forever. That was gorgeous. Thank you. My name is Maoli, and I live in Michigan. I'm in Traverse City. It's actually a rare sunny day today. We've got some sun in the sky, which is beautiful. Typically around this time of year, it's nothing but gray clouds. The sun runs away. So I've been kind of reveling in that today. And I just want to bring love and trust into the circle. And I tag Sue.
Good morning. I am Sue Rooney, and
in Issaquah, just east of Seattle, Washington. There's so many things I can think of. I think what I'll do is bring in trusting my intuition. Kala?
Okay, good morning again. I'm in Skagit Valley in Washington State. Um, let's see, my mind's kind of out there because I'm in the midst of a move. So let's see, I'd like to bring in harmony and grace for today. And Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon Raji Maynard here, Whidbey Island, state of Washington. And I want to bring into the circle stability. Okay, so we now have a circle that is built within the sacred ground of sovereignty. Sovereignty in my work, I'm going to define that for everyone, indicates that outsider energies are extinct in that space. So what exists in sovereignty is our life flow from home, our divine harmonic, which through our experiences contains within that field our own personal experiences, genetic experiences, family of discord or fear. So it at this point for most of us is not a steady stream, solid, consistent of what we would call love or good. It doesn't stay that way because we have a lot of our own inner healing to do. But what it doesn't contain in sovereignty is the outsider presence that would continue to whisper, to intentionally knock us off, to bring in an ownership energy. That's what sovereignty in our work, my work, does not contain. It gives us then the opportunity to do our inner work, to set our goals, to apply the laws, to see what would knock us off that's ours to heal, that stays healed, if you will. So eventually sovereignty in my model is a place where all that is good exists because we've each done our own personal healing, our own personal awareness to bring that flow of our own personal good into the world and then align into that space and resonate into that space by using our tools and that tenacity that sometimes that takes. So here we are in this space of sovereignty, the opportunity to see what we need to heal, write new stories, hear new from all of us in this new field additionally that you have called forth of light, of love and trust, of trusting your intuition, harmony and grace, and stability. So here we are. So where I'd like to begin is just to ask you a question. You may not have the answer yet. The answer to this question might pop up during our conversation, our class today. But my question is, what have you experienced? What are you seeing, sensing in relationship to the galactic material we've talked about what questions come up, what further explorations, like, well, if this is, then what about? What's on your mind in relationship to what we've covered in the last 3 classes and what you are at, experience or seeing in your life? I'm going to let us just sit with that for a minute, because it might be a prompt that you might want to take some time just to write in your journal. So let's just take about 2 minutes for you just to be with the question, and then we'll come back. And now, because it's often in conversation that other things come up, I'm going to put you into two different groups. One will have 2, one will have 3. What came up for you? Just share back and forth and see what other things might come up as you talk with one another. So we'll just be in groups for about 4 to 5 minutes, which gives you about 1.5 minutes or so each. And if there's another question that this particular question evokes, bring that into that conversation too. And then we'll come back and bring whatever has emerged into the room. Okay, so we're going to go into okay, this is very interesting. There we go. Took a minute for the computer to hear my mouse clicker. So you'll be in there for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back. So I'll see you soon. So here you are. This mission is about restoring our original agenda in actuality, to get back to what we had intended to experience of our home of good. So the law here on the planet is personal choice. You as an individual strengthening your own point of authority, of power, of who you are, of your connections to your intuition is critical. Personal choice. All of these basic laws have been shanghaied, if you will. So, that individual ruggedness has been made also to look like it's a bad thing. It's a selfish thing. But when you understand it in the picture of what we're here to do, you understand it is critical. So it is important that you take back your life, you take back your space, you take back your intuition, you take back your guidance. I have a friend, and many of you already know her, Kelly Lair, who has redefined work, which I love that. I'm sharing it a lot. It's WORK, weaving our right knowing. I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she just finished the book Untamed, and in Untamed, the author speaks of the time it took for her to act on her knowing. And the gap between knowing and doing is our big problem. We're acting on what everybody else tells us to do rather than our own knowing. So when I told her the definition for work, it's like, that's exactly what we're here to do, is to weave from our right knowing. Personal choice. So taking that back is critical. Angelique spoke about that, how we get dumbed down and are made to feel like we're wrong when we see things and sense things. Our knowingness as children. The second law is the law of manifestation. That energy will manifest in form. When energy on Earth will not remain a wave. It will not. By law. It will become a particle. It will form. And that wave of higher vibration isn't a righteousness. Isn't it? I'm better than you. Isn't elitist. It's just a region. It's just a region. It's just a region in which information is held too. And when it slows down a little bit, it becomes a field of emotions. We would sense it with our emotional body. And that's not a bad thing nor a good thing. It's just a region of vibrational information. Slows down a little bit, and then it becomes a mental thought, a story, a concept. And when it really slows down, now it becomes situations, people. And in that wave of energy is the information of the tree, of the tree from which it came. When they say the tree shows the fruit, well, the tree shows the fruit, or the fruit shows the tree, I'm sorry, but also the fruit shows the seed, and that's the purpose. Now, can the law of manifestation be used in other ways? It can be used to manifest a relationship. Can it be used to manifest the right car? Can it be used to manifest an apartment that's perfect for you? Absolutely, because it's a law. Hitler used it in Germany to manifest what he wanted. He had a group of very clear energy workers manifesting what he wanted. It can be used because it's neutral. But it's so when we see what's going out in the world, the forms out in the world, the words out in the world, the emotions out in the world, what it says to those of us who are seeing from the perspective of the larger landscape, it says to us, expand the love. I can see that that's growing from love. That's benefiting. I'm going to expand that. I might even make some donations over there. I might even spend my time and help it grow. And I can see over here that this is destroying this family, that this relationship is taking this person down. And I am going to deep six, PTO, guardian circle, and be available in any way I can to eliminate the energy ripples from seeds and the seeds from domination, control, and usury. And that was the purpose of the law of manifestation. So we would take action, not just talk about it, but take action. The law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity is the law that was intended for us to activate and thrive with. The law of reciprocity says you give out one good, you send your ripple of good, and 10 ripples of good come back to you. Ripple of good, 10 back. Ripple of good, 10 back. Of good. And by doing that in a village, the village that started from nothing, because when our original volunteers landed on this planet in their Earth suits, there was nothing here except, for them, they had to build their village from scratch. The souls in the female body had to root down to the earth, had to get in together within Mother Earth and say, what's here as storage? What does it look like? Let's do some walkabouts. And say, what does this community need in order to thrive? Not survive, to thrive. And we'll put in this good and 10 comes back. We put in that good and 10 comes back. And we put in that good and 10 comes back. And that's been twisted into the law of karma, where for every bad you get back bad. No focus on reciprocity of good. And the other law that was put into place on this planet is that those who are in a physical bodysuit are the ones who have the right to speak for change for themselves and for the planet. Well, ask and you shall receive. So the most powerful place to be anywhere during this time of upheaval, chaos, lots of particles being shown, the most powerful place to be is in a physical bodysuit. So your angels might speak to you, your ascended masters might speak to you, they might bring you ideas, but they cannot speak and have those ideas enacted. Only you can. And that's good. And it's also important to know that the power of discernment extends into the unseen worlds with your spiritual guides. We say, trust your intuition. That was a really good point. So, trust your intuition. But your intuition also proves itself to you, over time. So this is what's coming up for now. When you began your walk in this world of personal growth, metaphysics, whatever name you gave, but when you began your walk, and you had those who were there to help you with your walk from the unseen, whether you recognize them or not. When I'm in my classes, I always say to my students, you define the qualities of your spiritual teachers. So you use a reality statement and you say the qualities of my spiritual teachers are, and what are they? What do they bring to you? They bring wisdom, they bring clarity, they are in alignment to my divine family of good, whatever you decide. So you first set boundaries for those that can come into your space. And when you're first beginning, it's just like when you're a child and you're first learning to walk, there are certain things that you have available for you to learn those steps. You might have just your parents on either arm, or grandma or grandpa or auntie and uncle helping you do your first steps. And that's sufficient for those first steps. But then as you learn to rollerblade, you need maybe a more extensive team than mom and dad. And what if you decide to ballroom dance competition? You need a different team than mom and dad. The same is true as you are expanding your capacity to bring in and hold and share spiritual truths. The same is true. And so periodically it's good to be able to say to your current spiritual team, do we need to add more to the team? Do we need to adjust? Are there some who've completed their jobs and they need to be thanked and released? Rearranging and calling for an upgrade for yourself is good, but an upgrade for your spiritual team is important to consider too. That you may be being called to walk through doors that your current team, they were prepared to get you to the door, but they're not prepared to walk you through the door and on the other side. So you need to say to them, I'm feeling it, like, you said that kind of melting and rearranging, everything in your body is rearranging. Check with your spiritual team. Make sure that your team has what is needed for what you are now being rearranged to be and do. And so that law of ask and receive is as important, of course, as the others are important. But we have so, I think, this is me, I think we have really been crippled by religion. And we have been made to rely on something we have no way of questioning, no way of, not even, it's not even our job to challenge. It's not our job to step out of. And so ask and receive has been brought down to a really small view. Like, what is that? We ask and receive. And then if we don't get it, we say, well, then God didn't want us to have it. When in actuality, if we didn't receive, there's something in the way because you're the authority. You know what I mean? So that's why, again, in my classes, learning to ask questions. What kind of questions? From this point of view, from that point of view, we, talking about how we ask questions is really valuable because the questions will be answered, but it may be answered in your minimal way, and what you're really looking for is a more expansive answer. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for a moment with those laws, see if there's any questions you have, and then we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Okay, Callie, you've been able to hang in there pretty much the whole time. Kudos. So opening up the field and just whatever it is anyone wants to say or ask.
I'd like to make a statement. Again, being a pipe carrier, my pipe was open in the tradition of the Twisted Hair. And the Twisted Hair Society was a bunch of the tribes in the nation that all came together, and they brought the best of what they had known and learned. And in doing that, they took the strands of each of the women's hair together and braided it and or weaved it. Um, so you take the best and the most useful, helpful things in life and braid them together and create from that. And that's why I was so thrilled in getting that pipe, because it fit perfectly to how I believed. And I just that just reinforced it again, that discussion. So it really has come into play in my life. And again, it is the deeper awakening of what we're here to do. So thank you for that. That was really good.
Thank you, Cal.
It's funny. I
Can I say
Valerie,
something?
Valerie, you muted and unmuted. So between you and Sue, who would like to go first?
go ahead, Sue. Don't worry about it.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Crap. No, because now I lost it. I don't know what I was gonna say. It'll come back.
They'll come back. Good.
So while you were talking, because yesterday is so important on so many levels. And it's, while you were talking, what I was seeing is that the work we have been doing was shown through the men yesterday. I knew there was something about yesterday that just makes me want to cry.
Mm.
And it feels like Trump is done. He has destroyed everything. And it had to be done. And yesterday is a pivotal point of men stepping up to defend the Constitution, law and order, truth. We've been clearing and declaring and claiming our power and our wisdom, our compassion, our understanding. We are the light, and we are forging a new trail through the human collective consciousness, but we're doing it quietly. And we're doing it from a spiritual conscious level with intention. And yesterday just made it in the physical world a turning point. So to me, all the work you've been doing, Sharon, and all the work all light workers have been doing, was given the gift that it's happening in the physical form. It has to come through the men. It's like we do all the work and then it shows up in the men. Because they're the ones that are out there in the public more than the women. And that's okay. I don't want to be out there in the public. I don't want to take all those hits. I get enough hits on the inside. So everything you're talking about, it's like there's so many levels of understanding of this, but whether we understand it completely or not, I just believe we are seeing it in the physical world more than we ever have before. And when I heard the men last night and this morning say, I am not putting up with this anymore. This is a cult leader. This has nothing to do with politics. This has nothing to do with a political party. In fact, he has broken the political party. And yes, This is a huge yes. So what shattered for me this morning was an old paradigm. And what's coming back is a new one for me. And this is just everything we've worked for, everything we have intended, everything we want. It's just the beginning. So we have lots of work to do. But this is the way I have to describe it. And oh my God, Sharon, the way you describe it, I worked so hard to find my understanding with your terminology because it's so different from my terminology. And we want the same thing, the words are different, and I get lost, totally lost, but I can feel, my connection is I can feel that it's the same thing, different words. So I come back together. I'm stronger than I was. I now have to understand my new paradigm, but I am so ready to just forge forward. Thank you, Sharon.
I really put my words to that, Sue, because they weren't very far away, actually. But so when you're speaking of the men taking the hits and the women doing the quiet inner work, I'm going to take you back to when we talked about coming onto the planet with 2 bodysuits. The first bodysuit we now call male, and he's got ownership marks. He's been owned already, so it's no big deal. But he is the one that the outsiders are watching and monitoring. And if they're going to hit anybody, they're going to hit him. So he's lying low. He's just kind of doing his thing. But they're watching him. The female comes right down into the very deeper vibrations that the parasitics would be able to identify her if she had ownership marks. But she's invisible, so she's coming right down through the midline of the body and anchoring where? Into the earth. To survive? No. To gather strength, to work with other sisters, to talk about ideas, to dance, to do all of these things in which was invisible to the outsiders. We doing our inner work, right? And we come out and we do the lush garden. And when the female had done enough of outsider removal, and this is key to what you saw yesterday and this morning, when female men souls in female bodysuits had done enough of outsider removal, the men could stand up to him here and say, "You're bullshit." And that's what you saw, right? That's exactly the truth. They could not stand up to him until we women had done our own quiet work, our building work, our designing work, our removal work. We had to have taken back the authority voice and removed enough of that parasitic energy that the energy that the men could then drop off their ownership marks with our voice. And we've done that. We've removed their ownership marks and stand up to the very face of evil that had owned them. Thank you, Sue. Perfect. Anyone else? Okay, Mally and Aola, did you remember?
I did remember. Okay. So, typically I question things because I don't trust things. And so one of the things I guess that I've been working on is surrendering and just trusting and not questioning so much, like allowing for it to be and to not question. So when I am dissolving into my particles, I am being reweaved together. They keep telling me, like, just hush, child, and let us work. Like, that's what I keep getting all the time. And so I've been learning to trust and surrender and trust and allow, because I think sometimes in the past I've questioned things to the point that then I don't allow for the things to come in because I'm questioning everything. And now I feel Like I can just allow. And I guess I was looking, like there were so many things to the external of me growing up that I never bought into them. So I guess questioning worked really well to a point.
Yeah.
Like I didn't buy in and I kept a lot of things at bay because I was questioning them. But then it became like I couldn't trust anything in my environment out of self-protection. That then along my healing journey, it was hard for me to trust healing tools or really, so I think sometimes in some ways, like I blocked some of that because I just didn't know what to trust. So then I didn't trust anything and I questioned everything and I would question myself and doubt myself. And then not allow, so then I would block like my own intuition. I would block my own things. And so I've been working a lot on trying to surrender and trust and allow and trust that whatever's falling apart is falling, not necessarily apart, but falling away and falling away for a reason. And then it's going to be replaced or put back together with something even better. And then I've been doing a lot of work healing the divine feminine and healing divine masculine. And it's been really like this whole kind of revelation that's been going on here has been really beautiful because that is a lot of that work is healing the divine feminine and healing the divine masculine. And a lot of the ways the divine masculine can heal is through the divine feminine. The more the divine feminine heals, the more we hold space for that wounded masculine and start healing that on the back end. It's kind of like what you were, oh gosh, who was saying that last night on the call where, like the whole thing last night on the call where it's like, even the people that we can't connect with anymore, we send them little bursts of love because it helps heal them to the point that then they can connect with us. And it's kind of like that with the wounded masculine, like the feminine, we heal and we do the work. And by healing and doing the work, we're sending that energy and giving that healing energy back to those men that then eventually they fill up and then they're healed and then they can meet us and then they can do what they're doing now. And so it's been really beautiful. I work with the runes and seeing that again, there's a certain rune that when it's in a certain position, the male is blocked. And the way to reverse that is by using your divine feminine. And by the more you heal your divine feminine, the more you can heal that blocked masculine. So it's just been really awesome hearing that and listening to that and just seeing it in action. And again, seeing it in action from the outside in a bigger perspective, not just my own progression or on individual levels, but actually to see it like this in a like, again, from a societal standpoint has just, yeah, it's really awesome.
Mistrust is really an awareness to, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That on some level you knew that you couldn't trust, but you didn't know what to trust. And then because of the time you were born into, there are all these different possibilities. And so it again speaks to personal choice, the criticalness of you as an individual, of each of us as an individual, wherever we began, to begin rebuilding in firmness or in stability, like with my class, when I say, don't just open up and say, speak to me, to the unseen, because it's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you want? How do you begin to trust? You trust yourself by saying, if all I know is I am going to trust that wisdom exists, or
Mm-hmm.
that good for me exists, or whatever it is. And that's what everybody has to come together on that level. And then as I see that wisdom exists, as love exists, then you define it like Kelly redefined work. You're the one in charge to build a trust based on what you say is the criteria. And then when you open up and when I am a part of this plan, what's the plan? Don't say, oh, well, there's a plan. Yeah, there are many plans, and Hitler had a plan. Don't say, oh, there's a plan and just bow down to it. No, there's a plan, and this is the plan that I will align to. There is spiritual guidance, and this is the spiritual guidance I will align to. There is light. This is what light means to me. And so I can ask, are you of the light? Is this of the light? Meaning, is this aligned to what I am designing for myself? And so you're building. You started much earlier than I started.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
I didn't have much of a choice. I kind of got thrown into it with life, and I've just been going with it because it's just been my path. No matter how many times I've tried to not, it just is. So I just go with it.
Good job. Good job. Glad you're here.
I'd like to bring up another point that has not been talked about that I've recognized for a long time in Trump. That I believe that he is a major light worker. And the reason I believe that is because he has gone into a very, very dark, dark place to do this job. And anybody going into the presidency to me is going into a very dark place. But he has shown the light into the areas of the swamp, onto these swamp creatures, Democrats and Republicans. He is a light worker because he has shown us by shining his light onto them who they are, so they've come up and out and we can see and recognize them. That is doing light work. I also believe that when he came in, and I've heard that he has come in as a double agent, but as he has come in, he has played a game to get into the presidency, to play a part of a real son of a bitch. And I was totally in agreement with that, totally, until I started doing some research. And I feel like he had to have some miraculous walk-in come into him that is doing the more light work. You know, to get rid of that cocky attitude that he had and the way he treated women and talked about them. I believe that something has come in to his physical body, whether it's a part of him or the truth of him or something totally different. I believe he is really doing his job here. And it will take time for it to come out and for all the truth to come out. And but he's shown us things that we would have never known existed, as in child trafficking, as in many of these things. So, but my hope and my desire is that all is done for good in the outcome, that all ends up in a peaceful place and we survive as a humanity in the best way ever. And so I just wanted to bring up that alternative point of view. And I have really tried hard to stay out of politics on it, but yesterday, happened. And there's two totally different versions of the story, one on TV and one on the internet, total opposites. And yet we all want the same thing. Humanity wants the same thing. We want to have our freedom, our sovereignty, our independent thinking, our good. We want to enjoy life. So we all have that in common. And I think that above all is the most important and rides, because I'm not a Democrat or a Republican anymore. I was Democrat all my life, but no more. I'm not either. And I won't claim either ever again. I want to do what is the right and correct thing, and peace for all and humanity. So anyhow, I feel compelled to put that in, and I see things really moving forward in a really great way. No matter who gets into office, the truth has already come up and out. It cannot be put back in. So, thank you.
In a world in which the law of manifestation is the law, whatever is in the field will become form. And the form of a narcissist, the form of dictator, the form of sexual abuser will be formed, and the experience will be shown in form. And that means there will be victimization formed. that means there will be great damage, death, and destruction formed. There'll be forests destroyed in form, all of that. If it's in the field as an energy wave, and those who and we haven't had not raised to the level of awareness to get it at an energy sensation, for whatever reason, it will then become an emotion, an idea, and an action. It's the way the law works. Somebody is going to be playing out the role of dictator, and somebody will be playing out the role of pedophile, and somebody will be playing out the role of domestic abuser, and others then will be playing out the role of death, destruction, murder, and all of the things that we see in our world. Those that have been willing to play out those roles have been influenced by the energy in the field. I am not going to play out a dictator role if I don't have the energy that I've bought into for whatever reason to play out the role. And I won't stop playing the role of dictator till I choose to ignore the voice or get rid of the voice or heal the energy of dictator. We participate in that also. What's most important in this entire game is those who are enough out of the role to powerfully get rid of the energy that's causing it, getting to the cause. Otherwise, we're just playing around in symptoms, and we could say who's good, who's bad. No, we're all playing out a role. And in that, we're all light workers. And in that, some of us are experiencing extreme pain, and some of us are experiencing being looked at askance. And any of us at any point can say no to that. We can say no, and we can step away from that. So it is getting down here and trying to figure out who is what is a moot point. We don't have the time. We don't have the time. What is important is to be able to be up high enough to say, is it still existing? Where is it still existing? And bring in the troops. I mean, we're focusing on the United States, but I tell you, the things that are going on in other parts of the world that are still manifesting outsider agendas are multiple and even more dangerous to the people involved. So our role is to get up from all of it. Is it there? Yes. Then get it turned over, but keep away from getting down in the minutiae of it. We'll get caught there. Keep yourself up out of it. Don't get caught up in trying to figure it out. Who is he, 10% or is he 100%? Is there a walk in there of who cares? If the behavior is still showing the energy of the seeds, go after the seeds. So thank you, Kala. Angelique, we're just getting close to closing, so I'm going to invite your conversation here.
Well, it maybe sound really strange, but I have nothing to adjust. I'm just really taking it in. And answers are evolving, but they are not there yet. And I don't have any questions.
Good.
Nothing. I really thank you for everything and everybody, for everything you brought into this circle today. But I think I'm loaded. Yeah, really. And it's not from today only. It's from the 13 nights and days I've just been through. And really things are raining down. So yeah, I want to pay respect to that and not talk about it yet.
I think it's really important that
Mm-mm.
we show respect for all of the different, I'll say circles, and they may not all be circles, but that we really honor all that we have in our lives today, holding us, and all the
Yeah.
pieces that got us to where we are today, because we're
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
because we
Well, I really, I love to share one little phrase, because that's one phrase I received in the days, in the nights though. To trust God means that you are absolutely at peace. You see life as a process of growth, and what appears so ugly and distressing, you see as a condition which will ultimately bring beauty and perception in the life of man and women, of course, in the life of everyone. Yeah. Perfection, not perception, perfection, sorry. But yeah, that's really what I love to share. And that's what stayed with me all the time. So yeah, thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here. This is a kind of some foundational pieces for the galactic information. And the galactic information creates a landscape that's like many of you said, it has made me understand some things that I didn't understand. It is a landscape of information upon which you can see yourself and even your purpose, maybe more clearly or differently, more validated, maybe even. So it's that what I've put out yesterday was an invitation for anybody who wants to be a part of a 9-day event of every day. I'll send out something, and it's not coming together every day, but here's a focus, and here's a focus based on more of the galactic landscape view of what's going on in our world, and also the opportunity for coming together in one of the circles that we have, either time travel, galactic, or crystal broadcasting. So my intention is to continue rolling with the galactic information. I mean, this is some basics, but then there's other things and healing things that we can do together, that we can bring the healing that's been done in those worlds into your life, into the life of others. And everything we do in what I call the tag galactic system of transformation is we are at a point of light, and we are connected intentionally and consciously and claiming to be to everybody on mission. So what we do for me, we do for all. What I do for you, we are not here to raise our individual frequencies without absolutely bringing that vibrational level into the lives, that healing level into the lives of everyone on mission. So it's been a joy to spend time with you. And we've got 2021. It's going to be a ride and fun, and challenging probably. But we're together. So everybody can unmute, and we'll do our traditional love you and honor you till we meet
Love you.
again.
Yes.
Love you,
It's
everybody.
been a delight. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, Sharon, for all your beauty and walking this path with you. Thank you so much.
all of you. Wouldn't be the
Thank you
same
all.
without you. Bye, loves.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Yeah. Hopefully. Bye.
Yeah, will. Sure.